Genergy on the ground. Today we are responding precisely because this morning I just responded to one of the comments. Apart from the email questions that you asked me several times about starter motors, the one from this morning told me I give it to start. It sounds in rotates, but it does not mesh with the crown. That is, it does not start. It does not do anything. What's going on today? Let's understand how it works.
The starter motor.
Before moving on to the starter motor to learn a little about the history of this element, let's see, since 1900, since the engine appeared in cars, the internal combustion engine, the way to start it was crank. There in 1910, there is a gentleman who goes there, sees a lady who is going to start a car that she can't, and he offers to start it, grabs the crank, turns it around, takes it into a similar position, and the lever goes backwards in return, hits him in the face and kills him. In 1910, this gentleman might have gone unnoticed like any other, but he was a friend. From Henry, Layla, that is the founder, the one who had founded Cadillac in 1902. And this affected him so much so that he put a team of engineers to see how to get this out. And in 1912, the starter motor appeared in the first car, which was called something like Touring Model Touring of Cadillac. From there the engines start. Today we are going to get to know him, intro, and see him deeply. Well, basically there are two types of engagement systems. Look here we have in this engine, I have removed its starter motor from this engine is this. Here is the flywheel idler, okay, and here is the sprocket. This is the sprocket. The attack sprocket is worth this sprocket. It's the one that comes in, the one that meshes with this crown when it starts to spin. And I say that there are basically two types. This one that rotates because when the starter motor starts to rotate, there is one cord, a helical screw that moves the pinion. As we see here, you see in the first turn, it moves it forward in this maneuver, you see? I'll cover it with my finger, right? You see? Look here in this one. In this maneuver that he does, so he meets the crown. This is the starting maneuver, okay? And that's where it would start spinning. What's the matter? That when you start the engine, the flywheel spins faster than the starter motor and gives it a little kick that brings it back in and disengages it. Automatically from the crown that we see here is worth the toothed crown that we're seeing right now. That is, this pinion, as I say, engages in this turning motion and the crown returns it back. And the spring that you have here, well, this is a very simple system that works very well in everything that is light engines, the Jaka, for example. It carries this system, it carries the sun in the same ear as this one, that the only thing it does is turn the starter motor. The pinion is fired forward, it meets the crown, drags it, starts to rotate, and when the crown gains speed, it rotates faster than the pinion, and the pinion retracts and hides inside the starter motor. The breakdown that this follower told me, and this morning, as I say. What happens is that this pinion, for some reason, is not moving forward and therefore does not find the crown. It doesn't mesh with the crown. And then it sounds spinning, but it doesn't spin. It doesn't get the starter motor to spin. Being of this type, would it be something like that or also, look, Here I have a sample of another system. In this case, this system to work this starter motor, this Henoid Sun. Not only does it pass current to the starter motor, but here is a device, a fork is worth. What it does is move this pinion towards the crown. That is, it does one job, a double job. One carries current to the motor and the other moves with the fork as if it were the gearbox of a car, moves it forward. What had happened to this one? Well, look, here you are seeing it. I'm going to turn it around a little so you can see it, but let's see if I get there. Wait here, look closely, there it is. Do you see that? What happened? Wait for me to take it out and see it, see? Look, he's eaten his teeth, okay? So even if it moves, if it coincides with this one that has eaten the teeth here, because it will not engage the same thing. Can it happen to this whale that at a given moment he has worn out? His teeth have been broken, and even if he finds the crown, he is not going to work on the crown, okay? So, well, this example that had happened to him was this. That's why this starter motor is replaced, because it had the teeth, as we can see, burned. As we can see, it was not moving the solenoid well, it was only engaging the tip of the pinion, and it finally ended up with the failure. That you're watching here. Okay, there you have it. As you can see, little by little it broke until it really caused this failure. So in this starter motor, when the fork does, it moves forward. If the solenoid isn't doing it right like it was here, the pinion doesn't fully meet the crown and ends up doing this. Why? Because the solenoid is not doing the approximation work well anymore. So this is usually carried by diesel generators and some diesel engines, and also many of the cars that we see every day and that we use every day, and all light engines. Engines of this type of gasoline, in the generators they have this type, that the truth is that it is much simpler and works wonderfully, which is the spring type. Okay, the forwarding one engages, then hides, and if that doesn't work, that's why I'm saying okay, because the pinion is stuck. There's also another way, another thing that it doesn't work if the battery is dead. The engine may try, but since the revolutions are small, it does not shoot the pinion forward and it becomes strange. There has been a strange noise that you have expressed to me many times. It is because there are not enough revolutions, because the battery is discharged and the pinion is not fired towards meeting the crown, because basically those are the real breakdowns of the starter motor. Let's see. Of course, it could also be that the starter motor, the winding, the brushes that are here have burned out. In this one there are 4 brushes, or 2 brushes, or 3 brushes, since it does not forgive odd brushes, or 4 or 2 that the brushes have worn out. That is, there may also be an electrical failure. But that's another matter. Here we are talking in this case about what they explained to me this morning, since it was precisely that pinion. It does not move towards the crown. Alright, well, that's it. More information engineergy.es on this page you are viewing. Know that you have the possibility, the advantage of going to the after sales tab, and there you can send your team. Request a collection of your equipment for review or repair. Also in the very important contact tab, because there you can see that you have a connection to this that I'm going to tell you right now. If you have any questions, our telephone numbers and email are at your disposal to clarify any questions you have before completing the purchase. Okay, before buying that generator from the distributor, you can also inform yourself through us, not just our distributors. We are all here to help you. And one last piece of advice: forbidden without stopping learning.